Alright, let's do this one last time. So as literally all of you know, 2.2 got delayed from October to November due to bug fixing on robtops and taking longer than he anticipated. So yeah, so much for coming October 2023. The funniest part about all this is that some of you guys already predicted this, knowing that robtop's not very good with release dates. The whole joke of, oh, it's releasing October 32nd actually turned out to be kinda true. Like anyone who said November 2023, either as a joke or because they didn't have any faith in robtop, was actually correct. At least probably, we'll get into that later in the video. So just like at the beginning of October, I'm going to go over a bunch of theories relating to when 2.2 could release specifically within the month announced. Except this time it's November because it's after the delay. If this gets delayed again, I'm not making another one of these videos. At that point, it's either Christmas 2023 or literally never. If you enjoyed today's video, please remember to like and subscribe. You know the drill, helps out the channel, you'll see more content like it, fantastic, whatever. And without further ado, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. So I just picked a few that I think have decent arguments based off the predictions I received from my audience. I think 2.2 will be released in the second week of November. It seems like the optimal time to make sure as many bugs are fixed as possible, if not all of them, while also not making too much of the community upset. robtop hasn't updated the beta in a while, so the most we should get there is one more beta update before the big decimal increase. I think there's a decent chance that it could release in the second week of October. If so, my guess is it would be towards the end of the second week, just because it probably will take a bit more time than robtop is anticipating no matter what. But to be fair, I'm a bit more pessimistic because of the delay. November 9th. It's a third into November, and since robtop originally made the release date set to October, it would make sense for it to be released early November, and I think the 9th is a sweet spot. So first of all, the math isn't mathing, because 9 times 3 is 27, and there's 30 days in November. So yeah, actually nerd emoji. Then also, this is within the second week, so I think it has a decent chance of November 10th. Probably not November 9th, because the 10th is a Friday, so 10th or 11th maybe would probably be a good release date, considering it's around the weekend, so people will have more time to get a head start in the update. I personally really hope it releases on a weekend, so I don't have to skip a school day, because you bet if 2.2 releases on a school day, I will be Ferris Bueller faking sick all the way. November 19th. Rob will want to release it on a weekend, and I doubt he would be able to release it in these next 2 weeks given he canceled the October release window more than a week in advance. If he was sure he couldn't get it done in 1 week, he probably wouldn't in 2 or possibly 3. Anytime from the 11th to the end of the month is fair game. I also don't think he'll delay it more. First off, I disagree with the last part because honestly, I could totally see that happening. Granted, I think it's kind of a low chance, but we also said that last month and look where we are now. But I did want to include this one because it does raise the good point of robtop actually mentioning that he probably wouldn't be able to finish the update in time for the October 2023 deadline a fair bit before the end of October, which means he was pretty certain he wouldn't be able to finish the update, and so that might carry over into like the first half-ish of November. So far, I think this one is probably the most likely. Not necessarily November 19th specifically, but maybe the 17th or the 18th, which are the Friday and Saturday before the Sunday of November 19th. Personally, I think this is the best day for it to release, as it gives robtop a decent amount of time to fix up all the bugs and get it run through the Google Play Store and App Store and whatnot. But I can also play it during Thanksgiving, so that I can be playing Jump Trash 2.2 instead of having to watch my 5-year-old cousin shout Skibbity Toilet level 5 Gyat Riz, Baby Grunk, whatever the fuck, for like 5 days. But I still think the second week of November is decently plausible. Another way of looking at it instead of specific dates or just generic weeks is looking at it from the perspective of weekends, because it's very likely that robtop would release the update on a weekend. Specifically, this next prediction goes that route, saying, I think it's going to be on the weekend, so either the 11th or 12th, 18th or 19th, very unlikely it's going to release on the 4th or 5th. In other words, the second or third weekend of the month are probably the most likely days, whereas the first weekend of the month, probably not so much. While I do think it's still possible it could end up releasing on a Friday or another weekday, this is a pretty good bet, considering that most players will be able to immediately play 2.2 on the weekend. However, it's also possible that robtop doesn't want this because he might not be sure that the servers would be able to handle the sheer amount of player increase, which is, I think, the only caveat to this idea, because other than that, robtop would have every incentive to release it on a weekend. Next up, we have the Woolsey logic. Most likely delayed, but it could also be November 11th, because 11/11 because 11 plus 11 equals 22, which is basically 2.2. Guys, I think this one's real. I think this is the best one. Honestly, if this were to happen, I think it'd be pretty funny. Same thing if it released on the 22nd, because, you know, 22nd, 2.2. Honestly, it's not impossible. robtop really does like to troll the community. There's a couple more possibilities I want to go over before I end the video. One of them is just it straight up getting delayed to December. I think this comment sums it up pretty well. Delayed to December. But I think that will be the final delay. My personal guess is mid to late December, maybe a Christmas drop. I very much agree with this one. If it is indeed delayed to December, my guess would be mid to late December as well, with a Christmas drop, or hey, maybe even a New Year's Eve drop considering what robtop does these days. Obviously, I really hope it doesn't come to this, but it honestly very well could. I still don't think it's the most likely outcome, but I also did say that last month, and look where we are now. I have theorized that it could be delayed further and further and further into 2023 and released at the very end of the year since like May, back when we all thought it would release on the 10th anniversary. Well, I think it's more likely it will release on the second or third weekends of November. It is still a possibility. They'll release it on November 31st. Listen, we all said October 32nd, and now we're saying November 31st. It's gonna keep happening. It's over. 2.2 coming in the year 2100. So that's it for today's video. Or is it? As very many people pointed out, the official 2.2 trailer that released along with the announcement that it was delayed to November has the number 14 in the background, which has led to the October 22nd theory on steroids saying that November 14th is the official release date. I think this is a really fun theory, but at the same time, I don't think robtop would be able to commit to a date like that. My guess is if it isn't a coincidence that he put it in there, he put it in there just sort of as a tease, as maybe he would be able to do it. Like, that might be his goal, but if it's robtop's goal, then he's not gonna make it. Like, if he aims for the 14th, he's gonna make it on the 17th or something. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm a fair bit too pessimistic. Maybe he already has the update finished and he said 14 as giving himself a ton of time, just in case it took even longer than he expected after the delay. I don't know, we'll just have to see. But hey, that's just a theory. A geometry dash. I hate this. Okay, now it actually is the end of the video. Thank you all so much for watching, and thank you all so much for the recent support. As much as I find it odd, thank you for the support on the everyone's reaction to 2.2 getting delayed video, even though that's like meant to be a shitpost. 120,000 views. That's not a real number. Like, thank you. I don't even know how to react to that. If you would like to join my Discord server, the link is of course in the description. And as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.